Shout out, hi guys, I'm Judy, and today I'm going to be watching the Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episode 20. In the last episode, we saw more of like the tradition, the culture, the beliefs, I guess, of this fox village that Maomao is in with Shisui and Soirei, and we discovered that Soirei, like, Mao was given a little bit of like knowledge about the resurrecting potion. Um, and then she found this like storage room where these kind of experiments were done by Surya on rats, like using the resurrection potion. And then she found a back room in there where, actual Faefa were being created. It's a clear sign of like a, working toward a coup or something. And then like while Maomao was investigating that place together with Kyo, like one of the kids in the village, this lady showed up, Shenmei, and she's extremely creepy. And I guess she's like at the top of this village or something. She's very creepy. And she found out that they were there, and I don't know what's going to happen to them now. And she has connections with the envoy, which makes sense. That, I mean, because we kind of tied the envoy to possibly, the Faefas that we got or something. So, yeah, it's all interconnected, and we're in the very smack middle of it. So that's great. Let's get into this episode. Check out my Patreon for full reactions. Subscribe. Let's go. That's her, I guess. And we see Loulan there, don't we? She is a scary woman. Shit. Yeah, they work for her. Loulan? Loulan? Loulan. What do I call it, Loulan?
100回も叩けば十分かしら。くくりつける柱を準備なさい。シェメ様。石棺と称して始末されるのがオチだ。
Yeah, like 100 beating and lashes or whatever it is she said.
新しいクスシが欲しいと。この娘がそうです。
クスシには見えないけど。
ええ。
How do apothecaries look?
弱い30を過ぎているのです。年を取らぬ体になる。
Wow, girl. Wow. Okay, Loulan.
どの薬が効くのかわかりませんが、失敗したら前の男のように死ぬだけです。
不老の妙薬、前の男。そう、ならしか。
Someone who was an apothecary before.
そのクスシも一緒に連れて行きましょう。私たちの砦に。止水の正体はローラン妃だった。とんだ役者。四夫人に特別授業を。
Oh my god, I knew they looked the same! Oh my god!
私から隠れなかったのは、マオマオを捕まえた時にローラン妃と気づかなかったから。薄々感じて。
She is such a good actress. Oh my god.
見事、止水に化かされていたというわけか。
She certainly has. What the hell? Okay, it is the same mother. I mean, my god. I knew they looked the same. I thought they were sisters somehow or something. I don't know what I thought. Yeah.
そして師匠という名をもらい、二人は婚約した。
So
しかし先帝の代、シェンメイ様は高級に召し上げられた。時を経て、歌手という形で戻ってきた時には、父のそばに私の母と私がいた。もしかして止水というのは。ああ、元は私の名前だ。ローランはその名前を気に入っているようですね。
yeah, she couldn't. She actually
同
loves
じ
him.
男の娘として生まれたのに、母が違うだけで。一方
They're
は蝶
completely
よ花よ
different
と育てられ、帝の花として献上される。そしてもう一方は、官女として高級。
Wait, so the whole doctor and lady and the
高級管理者の人士様は、高級のあり方を変えようとしていた。師匠のやり方に反するように。しかし、それだけか。
I don't think that's all.
ただの勘ではない。いや、勘眼ですらなかった。
She's thinking it might be only that because she still hasn't come to terms with the fact that Junshi is a lot more higher born than he seems.
3人の官に触診される。高級に出入り自由な男子は帝かその縁者のみ。帝に近しい男子は王帝しかいない。いや、その可能性も考えたが、年齢が違う。
Oh, right, because he's lying about his age.
狩りの時に何か大事な話をしようとしていた気が。こうは人を狂わせる。なんと恐ろしい。
Girl, seriously.
よし、この件はひとまず置いておこう。
Of course.
なぜ宣明はこんなところに。ガオシュン様は
Planning to take
特使
over.
が宿舎から抜け出して何者かと取引していると疑っていた。
Yeah, this is who she was meeting, possibly.
あなたたちは戦を起こす気ですか。くれぐれも宣明様のご機嫌を損ねないように。
Poor story, honestly.
前にいたクス氏もこうやって幽閉されていたのか。
Yeah, so the whole thing with the doctor and the lady in the rear palace, that wasn't what Junshi discovered wasn't.
もし死の一族が謀反を起こしたとなれば、一族老頭その罪を負わされるだろう。それは女、子供でも赤子でも。
Yeah, and they don't get a choice. Like, don't get a say in whether to do it or not.
人事だと割り切ってしまえばいいの。
Good luck with that. That's crazy.
母が笑っている。お母様が笑えば笑い、嘆く時は嘆く。私が人形でいればお母様は怒らない。それでもいいと思っていた。けれど
Then you had like this entire other personality to run away to.
人形のままでいてもお母様を止めることはできない。
She had to start acting.
無駄だな。
宣明様がお呼びだ。
This is gonna be fun.
失礼します。
Okay.
何か混ぜ物をしているな。ここだとまるで主従だな。いつもは仲のいい姉妹なのに。
明日は何か成果を出しなさい。
何でしょうか、京羽様。
気持ち悪い。
殴りたい。
誰？
他に女の人いなかった？
Is your mother
いま
there?
したね。
本当か？俺の母様がいるはずなんだけど、元気そうだった？
京羽の母親が、もしくは母親自身が。では、私はこれで。
Maybe she died. Maybe like she poisons them and something. I mean, drugs them or poisons them.
つまり謀反だな。たとえ死の一族が王母の時代から仕えていて、師匠が女帝の長身であったとしても許されることではありません。
Of course, it isn't. If anything, it makes it worse. No, I mean, I don't know.
父上。
軍師殿。
そうそう尊き方のもとへ通うものではない。
Precious noble.
変な誤解が生まれるよ。
私の不甲斐なさが問題なのでしょう。
その通りだ。
軍師殿の娘可愛さを思えば来るのが遅かったくらいだ。俺の責任だ。
高級の外
I mean, it was under your jurisdiction, yes.
どなたかがいたにもかかわらず、我が娘がさらわれた。何をしているのかと言っているんです。
軍師殿はお見通しな。
Yeah, you already figured it everything.
本来の自分の立場に自信を持つことができず。
Time to step up.
半端な仕事をして、それで何事もうまくいくとでも何ができるというんです。 おじき。
Oh, hello.
がそんな風に思っているとは思わなかったよ。
私だって好きで宦官になったわけじゃないんだけどね。違うんだ。今
Okay.
回の件はマオマオをちゃんと見ていなかった私にも責任があるからね。
I guess, but you couldn't do much,
お
but
じきの
okay.
ことは責めてな
I
い
mean,
よ。
it's not the same position that Jinji's in, but sure.
間に合った。
お前
Oh,
は
that's what you did.
さっきのは売り言葉に買い言葉で、あんなこと言うつもりはこれっぽっちもなかったんだ。
Oh,
いや、
okay.
何の言葉も
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what exchange
喧嘩にな
exactly
る
was
前
that?
にちゃんと礼を持って伝えるべきことがあるんじゃないかね。
Well, we saw in the episode where Maomao was kidnapped, was them working together, right? So maybe that's what we're leading to. It's going to. Ooh, wow, okay.
約束師匠を討つべく軍を動かしていただきたいと。謀反の証拠は揃っています。海は早めに出し切るべきです。
But they're doing it kind of secretly.
宦官人士に対する礼では
Yeah, it's to the prince.
金軍、すなわち帝直轄の軍を動かすことになる。
The Forbidden
そして
Army.
それを指揮するのは
かりそめの姿で欺き続けるつもりですか。
I don't remember his actual name. Sangetsu?
月の君。
それが今来たに過ぎない。
Damn.
覚悟を決める時が来たようだ。
Woo! Let's go, Jinchi! That's so exciting. It's obviously not all for Mao, but it's just, like Mao is like the trigger. And it's like they're talking about something a lot bigger, obviously, but Mao was kidnapped because actually, I mean, I guess it was because in order to get at Jinchi in some way, but it's not very clear if that's really what they were aiming for. I mean, that's kind of the only reason I can think of that she would matter that much. I mean, she did find out things, but like, well, yeah, she did find out things. So I guess maybe that's part of it too. They just wanted her out of the way. But I mean, we had this talk with like with the Empress Dowager about how, you know, he has to keep her safe because she's his favorite thing or something like that, right? So it seems like maybe that was also part of it, possibly. Although they really didn't, like, I mean, all they did was kind of rile him up. So maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want like an actual war. I mean, they do want an actual war, but I don't know if like this is going to surprise them. If the army is going to mobilize right now, because they've been hiding it so far. You know, their preparations and everything. So maybe they're not ready at this point. I'm not sure. But maybe the fact that they kidnapped Mao is in some way a declaration that they're like it means that they're ready for whatever's coming. Although it feels like Surei kind of kidnapped her. Like I don't know how calculated it was, or if it was calculated. I don't know if it was calculated by Surei or by, you know, whoever is behind this war, which is Shenmei, I guess, or Shisho. I'm not clear on who is like behind the mastermind behind all of this, because Shisho we haven't seen of anything. I mean, they all took part in some things, right? Shisho, we know that on his, like, during the visit, Jinchi was shot at. Shenmei seems to know about what's going on. She seems to have, I'm assuming she might be behind this, but I don't know if it's just one person or if they all work together. Oh, they don't seem like they're tied to work together. I don't know. And what like Shisui's part of all of this is, or Loulan's part rather. Like Shisui is the name that she kind of took for herself because of like of this connection with her sister, but I don't think it's her actual name. Like she took it to hide as a servant, which is crazy. I just knew that she looked. I knew she looked the same. I you know, I just at some point, I mean, I posted the opening and ending song reaction of season 2, and I say that like I mean, I posted it like a few weeks ago, and then I actually say that, oh, is that Loulan? What's going on? Why does she look like Loulan? I mean, it was crazy because she had like a completely different personality, obviously, a different name, different altogether anything. And so, yeah, I didn't think I just felt like there was like a connection, but I didn't really think that they were the same person. I mean, there's so many things that just like happen in this season in particular, of people like hiding as each other, of people similar to each other, of people, I guess, being two different people at the same time. I mean, it's like, so many things, like so many, kind of like doubling up of this kind of theme, I guess. Anyway, crazy. So they are trying to, well, I don't know. If a war is like, I guess, is a coup, but I don't know if it's like what they hope for is to kind of like take over completely, or just kind of separate themselves from, like, is it a war of independence? I don't think so. I don't know. I tend to think that they just kind of want to take over. I mean, they were trying to assassinate, like they were trying to make sure that they wouldn't be an heir. They were trying to assassinate the crown prince. Yeah, definitely a coup. Like, I wonder what... I mean, Shaimei comes across as a very scary woman. Kind of like impulsive and and entitled. And again, I don't know how much of this she planned. I don't know how much of this how much she's a mastermind. Also about like Loulan, like she definitely doesn't seem to agree with her mother, but only in a very quiet, like only in her thoughts, I guess, or something. Maybe her actions, but like outside of her mother's eyesight, like, so it just, I'm not sure where this alliance like lies as far as she like Loulan's concerned. Like, does she want to take part in this? Because she talked about how it was too, like, she realized it too late, but she has to do something. Like, she can't just keep on being, a puppet, doing whatever her mother wants. But we haven't seen it actually, beyond her disguising herself as Shisu and, helping her sister and things like that. We haven't really seen her do much that was like against her mother. So I'm just wondering if she has something in store. What does she think about this coup, and whether she wants to take part in it, and what? It's kind of crazy, just like the shift between Shisu and her. Like, her identity as Shisu and her identity as Loulan is like heaven and earth pretty much. But it's basically like Loulan just, I mean, she's not anything as Loulan. That's the point. But she's not anything. She's a puppet. She does what she's told. She doesn't speak. She doesn't do anything but kind of look at you, pretty much. Shisu, like, everything else comes out, and she feels like an actual person. I don't know. I mean, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's who she is. Like, I have a hard time believing it. She's kind of both of them, I guess. She's able to be both of them. What does she want to be? I would assume it's more Shisu, but not necessarily. Like, I don't think she necessarily wants to be a servant. Obviously not, but like, like free or something. So, well, what I'm trying to say is that maybe she does want to have the responsibility of, of her position, just, her own way, to do it her own way, not under the shadow of her mother. Possibly. I don't know. But she's very, we just saw how resourceful she is. Just in the way that she reacted as soon as like her mother, was about to pretty much kill Maomao. She was like, she immediately thought of like, okay, no, she's an apothecary and she can, create this immortality potion for you and everything. So she really thinks fast on her feet, at least when it comes to her mother. Because she knows how to deal with her mother's rage. She's had to deal with it all her life. So she's good with a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily be good with as a noble, woman, I guess. And like, she knows both the life of a noble daughter and the life of like a servant, or someone who's like more low-born, or just, who on the one hand is more free to do things, but on the other hand is low-born and restrained in other ways. It's really interesting. And yeah, I really don't know what Chisho plays in all of this, like what part he plays. He just, so far he's very, very, like, he doesn't have a very strong personality. Like, he was kind of built up to be like, oh, he's such an important advisor, and we were so worried about him and everything. But ever since this all happened, he just kind of disappeared. And when we saw him before that, well, no, I guess I'm not sure where the scene after, in the episode where Maomao was kidnapped, and then we just cut away to the scene with Lakan talking to Shisho and finding out that he has color blindness and all that. I'm not sure where that actually took place, because I thought maybe it took place after. But Shisho has disappeared, so that doesn't really make sense. So maybe it took place before. And Jinchi was doing something else while his Aduo took his place as the prince. So maybe in the future at some point they do find Shisho. I don't know. I tend to think that happened in the future. You know, like we just got a glimpse of something that's going on. And I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if they're trying to do this kind of to use the element of surprise that Jinchi would kind of hide, that they would think the prince is still in the palace, but actually he's somewhere possibly starting to lead a charge against them or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. So Shisho, I'm not sure. And also the whole story with Suirei. I'm still like not sure whose daughter she is. Like obviously someone who married Shisho in the time when Shenmei was taken to the rear palace. I need to look at that again because I'm not sure how that. It could be that just Jinchi got it wrong, like the conclusions he came to, but like I'm just trying to understand. She married Shisho and then taken to the rear palace. Why? Yeah, so she was given and then taken back and then given back. She was taken and then given back, and Jinchi didn't know that part. He just knew that she was given, I guess. So what was the whole thing about this lady with an affair, like lady in the rear palace with an affair with a doctor? What was that all about? If it's not Surei's mother. I don't know what that was. Anyway, also why was she taken too? Like she wasn't a young child, so she was just taken to the rear palace. Maybe they were trying to make the emperor be with someone older and then it didn't work. I don't know. It's a crazy situation with everyone involved. Like it's definitely not the wife's fault, like the second wife's fault. But then again, you know, Shisho was taken in by their clan or something, like given, like the position he was given was thanks to them. And then, you know, it's kind of funny whatever it is that you know, he would have like a daughter with someone else and then give her the name of the clan, when I mean, I guess at that point he already belongs to it, but he was like a newcomer. He was like given a place there at the clan, and then he like replaced the actual wife that came from the clan with someone else. I don't know who she is. Maybe she's also part of the clan, but like from a low. I don't know. And the whole thing that's going on with all the ladies and men, and I don't know what that Shenmei has in her rooms. Like she drugs them, and then they just, I don't know, I guess they're all about like sexual acts they just perform for her pleasure, I assume. I don't know exactly. But who knows what actually happens to them if they're always drugged. And Kyo's mother is one of them. And I guess we don't know if she's still alive at all or not. Or, I mean, I don't know if alive or what, or maybe like just like who knows what the drugs are doing to them in the long term. So, God, this is crazy. It's just becoming crazier and crazier. And just Jinchi, you know, finally having to step up. It's gonna be hard for me to start calling him Kazuyagetsu all the time because it's also a mouthful, and also it's gonna be weird. But well, if he's gonna act differently, if he's finally gonna, you know, really embody this his true, you know, identity, which he has to if he wants to do this, then he will just feel like a different person. But it's funny because like the real him is younger, and Mao kind of thought about how, oh, maybe that's the real him when he acts kind of childish. So it's kind of funny that the real him is the crown prince, but also like a younger person that kind of acts like, you know, kind of childish. Like it's funny that, you know, on the one hand they're like expecting him to be, you know, to rise up to the occasion, to become the actual prince, and then when Mao thinks about the real him, she thinks about the childish part of him. Like obviously he can be both, but it's just funny. She was just thinking about it in a context of like, oh, but he seems to be like the age doesn't fit. And then she was like, oh wait, maybe he's actually younger. Maybe the fact that he's kind of somehow playing like playful sometimes, that means that he's younger. Like, okay. And I mean she pretty much figured it out finally. I mean, it's not, I don't feel like she Obviously, she could have figured it out ages ago. She was just, every time she figured it out in her mind, she was just like, no, I don't need to think about it. No, never mind. She kind of did the same thing now, but at least she got there, and then she was like, okay, now I'm not gonna think about that. I mean, it was funny to me how she was thinking about it as though, I don't know, as though it was like this big revelation, when we're like, please. Like, the only reason you ran away from hearing about it is because you kind of knew. Because you suspected. So she was like, oh yeah, he was trying to tell me something that other day. I'm like, oh please, you know very well that he was trying to tell you something. You were just like, you know, being obtuse on purpose. So it's just funny that she's, I don't know, in some way like pretending to herself that she wasn't being obtuse on purpose, that she really didn't realize. Crazy stuff. I really need to see how this plays out. I'm so excited. We have 4 episodes left in the season, and they're going to be crazy ones. I feel it. Okay. I hope you guys enjoy this reaction. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Special thanks to my top Patreons: Red in Tear, Andy Plays All Night, Terranor, Michael Gabriel, Shadows Moon, Marsh, and Stone Tree. And to the rest of my amazing Patreons, who without their support, I would never be able to keep on doing this. Thank you so much.